Today, I think we're going to be tying up the buggiest and potentially the most time-consuming pattern that we've ever made on this channel. And while it's really quite simple, there's a lot of steps that can take up a decent amount of time. However, the end result makes for a great pattern. We'll start off with some special articulated hook shanks. You can find those linked in the comments below. Secure some black thread in place and grab some hare's ear. Here I'm using a Euro blend consisting of both hare's ear and some synthetic fibers. We'll blend some brown as well as black together, create a dubbing noodle, and wrap this towards the back of our fly pattern. And of course, brush it out to give it that nice, buggy look. At which point, we'll grab some brown biots, place them in a V formation, and secure them just in front of our dubbing ball. The dubbing ball placed down beforehand will help spread them out into a V formation. Snip your excess free. And cover up your tag ends. At which point, we'll grab some creepy crawly dubbing. Here I'm using black, mixing some strands in to our previous dubbing blend. Create another dubbing noodle, and begin wrapping this forward until we reach the hook eye. And of course, brush it out to give it that nice, buggy look. At which point, we'll grab a few more biots and secure one to either side of our fly, measuring them to be about the length of our hook shank. Secure tightly, taking thread wraps both in front as well as behind, and snip your excess free. At which point, we'll whip finish to hold it all together. Snip our thread free, grabbing another shank, this time just slightly longer, inserting it through the eye and reattaching it to our vise. Once again, secure your black thread in place and wrap backwards towards the end of the shank. Here, we'll create another dubbing noodle, wrapping it forward up towards the hook eye. Before grabbing some more biots, and once again, securing them to the head of the fly. We'll make them just a bit longer than our previous biots, secure them tightly in place, and snip your excess free. Creating another small dubbing noodle, wrapping it just in front, before whip finishing to hold it all together. Snip your thread free, and of course, brush it out to give it that nice, buggy look. Before inserting another hook shank, once again, slightly longer than the previous one, and you can find the kit I used in the comments below. Resecure your thread, snap the excess free. We'll start off with wrapping towards the back of our shank, create a dubbing noodle, and wrapping it on top of itself to create a small ball, and finish with your thread just in front. With this complete, we'll brush it out to give it that nice buggy look, but also help cover up the connections between our two hook shanks. Now that we're using a longer shank, we'll also attach a couple biots on either side of our hook shank, just in front, starting with one side, securing it tightly in place before grabbing another and securing it to the other side, once again measuring them to be a bit longer than our previous. Snip your excess free, cover up your tag ends, wrapping back just in front of them to create another dubbing noodle, and continue to build up our transition as we work towards the head of the fly. And you can continue to add and tighten the dubbing as needed, but of course, don't forget to brush it out for that nice, buggy look. We reach the head of the shank. Like before, we'll secure a few biots in place, first to one side and then to the other. Snip your excess free, before creating another dubbing noodle and wrapping it just in front. Whip finish to hold it all together, and once again, snip your thread free before brushing it out once more to give it that nice, buggy look. We'll insert another hook shank, this time the same size as we used just before, resecuring it to our vise, and once again, reattaching our thread. For this hook shank, we'll repeat the steps just as we did prior, starting off at the back of the hook shank, creating a small dubbing noodle, securing a couple biots just in front before wrapping some dubbing up towards the hook eye, and once again, securing a couple more buyouts in place, followed by a bit more dubbing and whip finishing. And while it's a fairly simple pattern, this tedious process can be somewhat time-consuming, but the action of the end result can be an extremely useful tool to add to your fly box. With everything complete, we'll brush it out once more to give it that nice, fluffy look. Before grabbing a small wire, snipping a small section free, insert it through the eye before removing it from your vise. With this complete, we'll swap out to a hook, push our bead backwards, and secure your thread just behind the hook eye. Snap your excess free, and create a small dubbing noodle just in front. We'll finish with our thread just behind it before grabbing a couple buyouts and securing them to the head of the fly with the points facing out towards the hook eye in order to mimic some jaws. Secure it tightly in place. Snip your excess free before covering up your tag ends and whip finishing to hold it all together. Snip your thread free and move your bead forward. The end result should look something like this, at which point we'll reattach our thread, snapping the excess free and laying down a thread base for our following steps. With this complete, we'll insert some lead-free wire, taking thread wraps both in front as well as behind it, before wrapping it backwards in closed touching spirals. This is an optional step, but a great way to add some weight and help secure your bead in place. We'll secure it in place and helicopter your excess free before building up a small thread dam behind it to help secure the wire in place, as well as taking wraps throughout it to ensure it can't move around the hook shank. With this complete, we'll wrap backwards into the bend of our hook, grabbing our trailer section and securing it tightly in place. We'll wrap back on this a fair ways so it doesn't have too much movement, but ensuring some remains so we can still get plenty of action out of our articulated trailer. We'll also take some thread wraps behind it to help prop it up and ensure it stays secured tightly in place. With this complete, we'll continue wrapping forward, securing the wire tightly in place, and once we reach the head of the fly, we'll fold it over and wrapping back on it so that it can't slip free. You could also use some super glue. However, I've never had a shank pull free while using this method. Snip your excess free. We'll wrap back towards our trailer, create another dubbing noodle, and wrapping this just in front. Additionally, we'll add some looser fibers just in front of it to help blend everything together. And of course, brush it all out to help cover up that connection and give it that nice, buggy look. With this complete, just as before, we'll continue securing a couple buyouts in place on either side of our hook shank, secure them tightly in place, and snip your excess free. Followed by some more dubbing. Create another dubbing noodle, wrapping this just in front, before brushing it out to give it that nice, buggy look. At which point, we'll change things up a bit by grabbing some thin skin. Here I'm using a clear, molded color. I like to use this one to make for a nice wing case that adds a little bit of texture to the pattern, but still retains the color of the dubbing underneath. We'll trim this into a triangle shape before securing it to the top side of our fly. With this complete, we'll create another dubbing noodle, wrapping it over the top of it, and remembering to continue to build up our transition. At which point, we'll grab another buyout, and instead of securing it in place, we'll first squish it in our hands to create some kinks before attaching it to our fly pattern. You don't have to make these perfect, but the kinks make it a bit more lifelike. Repeat this to the other side, fold them backwards, and take a few wraps over the top. Trim your excess free, and add a bit more dubbing in front. At which point, we'll fold over our thin skin. However, before we do so, we'll brush out the top section on either side so we don't trap too much, while also helping to fill out the body. Tightly secure your thin skin just in front by taking several thread wraps over it, before folding it backwards and resecuring it in the opposite direction. Repeat the step just as before. Create another dubbing noodle, wrapping it just in front, and brushing it out for that nice, buggy look. Secure a few more legs in place, this time a bit larger than our previous ones. Once again, folding them backwards and taking a couple thread wraps over the top of it. Snip your excess free. Create another dubbing noodle and wrapping it just in front, doing so until we reach the head of the fly. Here, we'll secure a couple buyouts in place, this time without kinking them, and facing outwards towards the hook eye, before creating another small dubbing noodle, wrapping it just behind it, and finishing with your thread just in front. Brush out the fibers on the top section, before grabbing your thin skin, folding it over the top, and securing it tightly in place by taking thread wraps both in front as well as behind, and snipping your excess free. Trim it off close by taking your time with your scissors and following the contour of the bead. Whip finish to hold it all together. Snip your thread free, and this is an articulated hellgrammite. And while it's quite simple, albeit repetitive to tie, it is extremely time consuming. However, the movement of the tail provides a lot of action in the water and can really help trigger some bites. So if you happen to have the time, tying up a few of these may help you catch some more fish. However, I'll often fish them in a much easier variation, but it can be fun to tie at the vise. And if you'd like to win this one, comment #flies in the comments below. But thank you for watching, subscribe for more, and I will see you in the next one.